Welcome to Marvel Rewind, a Marvel Champions Retrospective Series. In this series, I will be tasked with defeating every villain in order, progressing from the core set to the latest release. The catch? I'm only allowed to use cards released up until that point. After defeating the villain, they each will be ranked in terms of their difficulty, determined by the cards available at the time. Tune in every Tuesday for new episodes of Marvel Rewind. What's going on, guys? It's Char here, back with another episode of Marvel Rewind, a Marvel Champions Retrospective Series. Now today we are at the end of the Mojo Mania scenario pack. It feels like we just started, taking on none other than the titular character himself, Mojo, with who else? With the leader of the X-Force, Deadpool. Let's get down to the table and see how it goes. Okay, so here we are. We got Mojo, we got Deadpool for the last scenario in the Mojo Mania scenario box. So let's go ahead and talk about Mojo. Let's talk about his setup, what he does, and kind of like what we're hoping to accomplish in this game. So when we look at Mojo's card here, this is his main scheme. We always start with the main scheme 1A. We're doing Mojo 2 and 3 because we're on Expert. And then our recommended set is the Mojo set and the Standard Encounter set. So we have our Standard and Expert set here. And as you can tell, we have both the Deadpool obligation and the Pool obligation, which should give a little bit of a hint on the aspect we're running. I thought it was the most thematic choice for Deadpool. We also have the Mojo set here, and then we're also putting in Long Shot, which is an optional additional modular set. Mostly because it's really thematic in terms of like with the show and whatnot. Long Shot is kind of like this celebrity that he has like trapped in here or he made in Mojo. I kind of forgot the super specifics of it. But yes, so we'll shuffle up and make the encounter deck. And as a part of a setup, we choose one modular set plus one per player additional modular sets from Mojo Mania scenario pack and set them aside. Then you put the wheel of genres environment into play, spinning side face up. So they don't actually join the modular set until this when revealed on 1B. So Mojo kind of wants you to rush him down because the whole gimmick of the scenario is that he has 2 set-aside modular sets in solo, and then up into 4 player he has 5. But yeah, he has these 2 set-aside modular sets, and when he mills out of his encounter deck twice, he wins the game. He has like a secondary win condition other than defeating you. So if that's a secondary win condition, I try to choose somebody who has a secondary lose condition, or he loses a lose condition, which is like being defeated. Deadpool, anytime his hit points would be reduced to 0. As a force interrupt, you set your hit point down to 1, change to alter ego, and then you add 1 acceleration token to the main. So I thought this might be a pretty good matchup. I think Deadpool has some good rush ability. We do have the very strong combo in this deck. But let's go ahead and choose the setup, and we'll just see which ones we'll try and beat this with. Hopefully it's not like really egregious. What's it called? Hopefully it's not. Oh, I keep dropping cards. Hopefully it's not like really egregious kind of 2 modular sets we're forced to deal with Mojo here. But we will see. How do we choose on his one revealed? It's pretty important. Choose one set aside, encounter set at random, and then you reveal its show environment. Okay, so it could change from game to game, but let's just hope that it's not a bad one. So let's get all our modular sets. They're still here at the top, so we'll bring them all down here. Oh, we've got Dial M for Mojo, a game of Mojo, so it's sitcom, fantasy, a crime. This one's horror. This one is sci-fi, and then we have Wild West, or what is it? Western. Okay, so we'll choose 2 of them here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. First one, 4. So that's Mojo in the middle. Is this sitcom? We keep getting this one, but I guess we'll keep it, and then we'll do one more. Okay, 4 is rolled again. 2. This one is Mojo Runner, so this is sci-fi, and this comes with a lot of big minions. Okay. So those will be the 2. Each minion and ally gains tough. So that could be useful for us. But yeah, these are going to be the 2 that we have chosen, at least for now. If obviously you won't see these if I decide to go back and get different ones after a couple of attempts. But these will be the 2 for now. So we'll set these aside. And then we will just do his setup. So we'll put the main threat. It comes in with 10 per player on it. And it pops at 25. We'll have this shuffled up. And then we'll go ahead and skip to starting the game because I think the one that we start with changes every single time. So we'll go ahead and we'll do that now. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and roll here. This is 1, 2, 3, and the second one's 4, 5, 6. So we're gonna start with Mojo Runner in play. So it's when revealed says to choose one set aside encounter set at random, reveal its show environment, and shuffle the remaining cards into the encounter deck. So now we have a ton of big minions in here to deal with, which can be pretty bad. So these are all getting shuffled in the encounter deck. He has a forced interrupt. Whenever a character flips or leaves play, move all threat from that character to the scheme, and if that scheme gets completed, we lose the game. As a when revealed ability, Mojo puts 2 threat on each friendly character. Yeah, it's just a way for him to speed it up, and he has a force response specifically in hero mode. After your turn ends, discard the top 4 cards of the encounter deck. Place 1 threat on your hero for each card discarded this way that does not belong to the Mojo Mania encounter set. So he's somewhat weak to, I would say, confusing, especially if we can get it out, if we can start doing stuff like that earlier rather than later. But we'll just have to see. We'll set this one aside. And we'll ready up and draw. So Deadpool here has just this really interesting kind of gimmick, where as an action, you can discard a card from your hand, search your deck, and discard for a Deadpool event. Oh, it's just deck. And add it to your hand limit once per round. Okay, I felt like I've been getting trolled extremely hard in these games. I felt I've been close, like, I think 2 or 3 different times, and man, that last one is gonna sting for a little bit. You guys will see that whenever we do like a recap for the Mutant Ways. That Mojo loss was the last one I just got through with was tough, man. I found like a really cool line to live and survive the last turn, and no matter what I did the last turn, he would have flipped in advance. If I got rid of an attachment or if I kept an attachment, it was literally the right amount both ways. I think it's crazy how the encounter deck can work out sometimes, but here we are. We're playing Deadpool. Mojo's one revealed says we place 2 threat on each character, and then we started with Mojo Runner in play as our 2 set-aside Mojo sets. So one thing I learned is a stick-to-itiveness. I feel like we just mulligan for that. Healing factor is actually pretty good too. But yeah, like I don't really want any of these cards in my hand. I think I'm just gonna mulligan 5. We'll keep the healing factor just in case, and we just need a big start. So that's pretty good. Montage is fine. Weapon X is, I mean, this hand's okay. So we definitely want to get the healing factor, or maybe we definitely want to get the healing factor down. It ain't over is pretty good. I don't think it's 100% needed. No ally sucks here. I mean, we did get rid of my ally. But I think what I'd want to do probably is spend 1 for Weapon X, grab another card to play the Katana. Yeah, let's spend it ain't over for Weapon X. Let's tap the Weapon X to take a damage and discard until we find. Okay, we found maximum effort immediately. Spend these 2 to get down our Katana. And then let's just spend these 2 for the healing factor. Or this, oh wait, sorry. Before the Weapon X, before all of that, we would have played the healing factor for free, basically, for a triple resource on self-control. Then we would have done the next 2 things. It doesn't really change our turn in a meaningful way. We will flip up. 2 of this threat's going to go on the main, but we're instantly just going to thwart it for 2, so it'll stay like that. Let's take a damage here. Let's deal 2 to Mojo, and that's going to be it for us. We're going to ready up and draw. As you can tell, I have been playing this. I'm going pretty quickly because I've been playing this. Wow, these cards are not good. Okay, I mean, maybe we can actually play Arm to the Teeth for the first time. So we're going to start off. He's going to mill 4, 2, 3, 4. So that's 3 threat on our identity. Mojo's going to go ahead and hit us here. Oh, wait, usually I use the green ones for the threat. Mojo's going to go ahead and attack us here. We're just going to take this. Just 1 damage, bring us down to 6. An encounter card. We're probably going to end up canceling this, whatever it is. Yeah, I don't really feel like dealing with Master Plan, so let's cancel it. Let's do spend 1 for Meta Knowledge. When an encounter card is revealed, cancel all its effects, take 1 damage. So we'll take 2 damage for the 2 boost icons, and that'll be that. So we're going to heal off healing factor for 2 at the beginning of the turn. So we're up to 6. We have 3 threat on our identity, but we will be able to get a confuse on Mojo here because we're going to actually end up playing Arm to the Teeth. So as a response, we can search my collection for any weapon upgrade and attach it to this card. I think I have one set aside, but I'm obviously going to be looking for Sonic Rifle here. I hope there's one set aside in this pile as I'm trying to talk to cover the space. If not, we will go and seek one out because that's definitely the best card. It resets its counters every single time. So we can kind of just deal 2 damage and confuse Mojo, and it's just pretty good. So yeah, we got Sonic Rifle here. So as a hero action, we can exhaust it to remove a charge counter. Then remove a charge counter from a confused enemy or deal 3 damage if that enemy's already confused. So it'll be attached face down here. As an action, we can exhaust Arm to the Teeth to swap the card with the weapon upgrade we control. So we're probably going to go ahead and just do that right now. We have a Get Ragey in hand, but I think that super matters. We'll do Deadpool's Katanas to start to first off deal damage here. Deal 2 damage to him by taking 1. Let's go ahead and thwart for 2, mostly because it's going to go back up when we flip down. Then we're going to use our ability on Arm to the Teeth to exhaust it. Let's put the healing factor here, and we'll swap it with the Katana here. So come in with 2 counters. Let's go ahead and exhaust it and get rid of one of the counters. And confuse Mojo, which would be pretty good. I haven't had a chance to actually do this. That's why I hadn't seeked out the card at all. But since we have a free confuse, we're just going to go ahead and flip down here. Do we want to search for a card? I think no. So we'll just exhaust ready up. When we change form, all the start has to go onto the main. So we'll go ahead and put it there. I just don't want to discard Stick-to-Itiveness because that card has been extremely good in basically all the plays. 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so we got a ton of things here. We got a Yoo-hoo, we got Bob. All right, it's gonna start. He's gonna go up to 6. He's confused, so he's not gonna scheme. And counter card Magneto 2.6. The Magneto 2.6 activates, place 1 magnetic counter on him. Then he discards cards from our hand. So we do have to get rid of that guy. Healing factor is gonna proc here. We're gonna go up to 7 health. Yeah, what do we want to actually do? Does it search for a Deadpool event specifically? Yeah. I still don't want to get rid of the healing factor, it looks like. So, what we want to do is flip up again. Yeah, we just need Nick Fury to draw us cards. So let's spend these 4 resources here. Let's play non-Nick Fury. He's going to draw us 3 cards. 2, 3. Symbiote Suit. I don't think I want that down right now. We don't have the Stick-to-Itiveness to really kind of get a ton of value out of it. So I think we will abstain for now on that. I think we might just end up playing the Yoo-hoo. And maybe just keeping the double in our hand. I don't really want to play Bob. The threat is the main thing that gets out of control in these. So, yeah, I think we're just going to flip up here. Maybe keep the double in our hand. And just go from there. Nick Fury's going to have a tough. Oh, Magneto also has a tough here, which is pretty bad. That maybe we do actually have to just play Bob because of that. Yeah, now that I'm thinking about that, we probably just do have to play him. Because I forgot both of these guys are going to have toughs. Oh no, we have piercing with our sword, so I guess it doesn't really matter. Let's just flip up here. Let's use our ability on Arm to the Teeth. We'll just swap it. We'll just, yeah, put this back here. The counter is reset every time, but I'm just leaving the counter on it. Let's do our Katana here to hit him for 2 damage with piercing. So 2 damage to him. So he's down to 5 health. And then I think we'll just do a... yeah, we'll just Haymaker him for 3. Bring down to 5. Hit him for 2. Defeat him. Then what we'll do is... do we play Bob? I think so. I really don't want to play him, but I feel like there's really... I feel like I'm wasting a hand almost, so let's play him. When he enters play, we'll deal 2 damage to an enemy. Bring Mojo down to 12. Let's have Nick Fury thwart for 2. And then we can have Bob. I mean, he has a tough on him, which kind of does matter because I don't want him around the whole time. So maybe have Bob. How much is Mojo at? 12. Just have Bob thwart for 1. Threat is always the biggest issue in here. So I think that's fine. We'll just ready up and draw. I'm going to discard these cards. I really want to find Stick-to-Itiveness here. Our other Katana is actually pretty good. I don't mind that. And then Endurance is also good here, so let's see what we can do. That's going to go up to 3. He's going to do his force response after our turn ends. 2, 3. He's going to put 3 threat on our identity, and then now his turn's going to start. So, Mojo's going to go ahead and attack us. We'll block this with Fury. 1, 2, 3 damage. Nick Fury's defeated. Got an encounter card here. Heal 1 damage from each character you control, so we're going to go up to 7. And then we place 2 threat on each character we control, which kind of makes me rethink wanting to block with Bob here, but maybe one turn just to use his tough, he can do it. That's back to us. Let's go ahead and proc the healing factor. Let's just heal us up to full. We don't really want to play this card as fire currently, but we do want to flip down and did I put main threat on the main? I don't think I did, so it should have gone up by 2. So this should be at 5 here. We just want to keep building, in my opinion, so I think what that looks like for us is an endurance. Okay, so there's some barking, got some work going on in the backyard, but let's keep it playing. So we're looking at this hand here. I think we want the second katana down because it's just a really consistent source of damage that I felt like I needed. Cable is really good, but I don't think specifically I want him down. So I think like my plan was just to get down the katana and then get down another endurance. So let's do that. So let's start with playing down endurance here. Let's just put it over here. Why not? We get 3 extra health. This will be really good when we get like a maximum effort or something. Maximum effort, this card is fire, classic combo. Let's spend these 2 resources here. Let's get down our second katana here. So one of these will constantly be on the board. The other one will be swapping out with the sonic rifle over and over. So let's exhaust both our katanas here. So let's do that. We're going to end up taking 2 damage for that, but we're going to deal 4 to Mojo, which is just really strong. So take him down to 8 health, really good. We're making progress, which is the biggest problem in this scenario, that you have to play kind of a faster tempo to make progress against Mojo here. We're going to have, we're going to thwart for 3 total here. Bring this down to 2, mostly because when we flip down, all this threat's going to go on to the main. We're going to do this action to exhaust to swap this card with one of our exhausted katanas. It's going to come in ready with 2 uses, and we're just going to use one of the uses immediately to confuse Mojo and hopefully keep that threat in check. That's the whole idea here. I think we're going to flip down. We're going to instantly throw that 5 threat onto the main here, so it's going to go up to 13. And then that's just gonna have to be it for us. All that threat's gone. We're gonna ready up draw. Hopefully we can find the stick-to-itiveness and really bring this game home. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, X-Gene isn't bad. I also do like the Helicarrier. We might actually just go for, maybe not for game here, but this card is fire after a maximum effort here. Could really bode super well for us. We can get a ton of damage on a Mojo here and just really speed up the tempo of this game. Do we have any more maximum efforts in the deck? If not, we can just do it with we do actually have a maximum effort left. That's pretty good for us. We'll see if that works out well with whatever his encounter card is. It's gonna go up by 3, so 1. Oh no, it's just by 2. So 1, 2 up to 15. He's going to try and scheme against us. He can. He's confused. Then we got an encounter card here. Curtain Call. Move all threat from the character with the most threat to the main scheme. That's a pretty good break for us here. That's just going to put the main up to 5. Cool. And then now we can start blocking, or Bob is open to be blocking for us again. Healing factor is going to go off here. It's going to heal us up for 2. Okay, yeah, I'm actually pretty excited about how this game has gone so far, but I don't want to get ahead of ourselves. This is the last, this card is fire, and this will be the last maximum effort we search, so we will be pretty low on damage after this point, but not super low. So we probably will have Bob block for us this next turn. The Chimichanga truck, is this worth getting down right now? I think the Helicarrier might be better. Maybe we go Mockingbird. Mockingbird really slows down his activation. We don't even have to block with Bob yet. Yeah, that might be the play. That's just like kind of 2 damage that can go anywhere. So if we do this for X-Gene. Do we even play X-Gene? I don't think so. 1, 2... I don't think we have the economy to play everything we want to play here. So let's think about this for a sec. We do 1 for the X-Gene. That means this card is fire will cost 2. Okay, I think we do get the X-Gene, and Mockingbird turns into maximum effort. Yeah. So let's discard a card here. Or we could keep the Mockingbird in hand. Let's use the weapon X first. 2. Oh, this should not be here. I don't know what card this is. Oh, it's long shot. Okay, we've kind of been making it harder on ourselves then. We can go ahead and shuffle this up. He was supposed to be in the encounter deck, or that was the idea at least. I mean, he could have come into play by now, but who knows? Would have completely changed the game here. Do we want to spend the weapon X here? I think no. I think we're just fine with everything in our hand currently. So let's spend the Mockingbird here to go ahead and find our maximum effort. So what do we have left in deck? We have our Stick-to-Itiveness, we have Professor X, we have a Cut Upper. Pretty good. So we'll have a Stun or a Confuse coming up next turn if we draw into it, which could be pretty good for us. And then the Healing Factor lets us use our Katanas every turn for 4, which is really powerful. So let's go ahead and spend 1 resource here. Let's get down our X gene because we are a mutant. We can play that. That's pretty cool. Then what we want to do is this could be pretty bad though. Like if we go all in on the damage here, this could end pretty poorly. But we don't have really any great ways to thwart either. I don't know. What do we do? No, I think we just go for it. We're gonna flip up. I think we'll just maximum effort for take any mana damage up to your remaining hit points. Let's just take 8. So 12 down to 4. So he's gonna be defeated here. So then I think he places 3 threat on every character when this one comes in. He does. So 3 threat on every character, and he comes in with 25 health. So 3 threat here. 3 threat here. Then what we're going to do is we can't confuse him. We'll exhaust Arm to the Teeth to swap these out. We'll exhaust both of our Katanas, bring us down to 2 health here. To deal 4 damage to Mojo. Bring him down to 21. Then we will do an X gene. And these 2 cards for this card is fire. Deal X damage to an enemy where X is the amount of damage you've sustained. We've taken 10. So we'll bring him down to 11 health here. I think we just go for broke on damage. Yeah, I think we just have to do it. Let's just swing for 3 on him. 1, 2, 3. Bring him down to 8. And hopefully this will be enough, especially if we draw on a Cut Upper or something. But yeah, we're just going to ready up, draw, and hope for the best here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 card left in deck. We do find the Cut Upper. We do have a Professor X. Just hope we can live this. It's going to go up by 2. It's going to go up to, what, 19 here? So he's going to mill top 5, 3, 4. Okay, so only 2 threats going on us here. So, right? Because it was 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it's only 2 threat. We're up to 5 here. Mojo's going to go ahead and attack us. We're going to block this with Bob. He has a tough on him from Mojo Runner. So that's 2, 3. It's going to break his tough. 1 encounter card, please. Assault. The villain attacks you. I think we live anyways, right? If he defeats us here, let me think about this. If he defeats us, what happens? 6, 12, 18, 19. I think I remembered that threat from step 1. If he defeats us, all 5 of this threat's going to move on there. 6, 12, 18, 24, and I think we're still alive by 1. So yeah, we'll just take it. 2, 3, 4 damage. It's going to defeat us. 5 of that threat's going to move. Oh my goodness, guys. This is kind of the game I was looking for. It's going to defeat us. When we would be defeated, we do our Force Interrupt. We go to 1 health. We put an encounter acceleration token on the main scheme. Cut a card from your hand, search for Deadpool event, add it to your hand, limit once per round. Right? Force response when you'd be defeated, say you're putting down a 1, change to alter ego. Alright, and that's back to us. Yeah, and that should be all she wrote. Healing Factor is going to heal us from 2 here. And I think, unless I missed a threat, this should be it. I tried my best to play this to the best of my ability. So we're just going to flip up. We can just attack for 2. We could spend both of our Katanas. 1, 2, 1, 2, down to 2, and then we have a Cut Upper for 3. Boom. 5 to an enemy and stun. That is Mojo defeated. Oh my goodness, that was crazy. Wow, the Katanas with the Healing Factor was even better than getting Stick-to-Itiveness. Stick-to-Itiveness was so good last game, but it was at the bottom of my deck. I'm so glad that after a couple of plays, I kind of found the tempo of the deck. A lot better than I thought it was. If we lost by 1 threat here, I'm going to be so sad. I'm sure someone will let me know. That being said, I could have played it a bit safer and thwarted for 3 instead. That would have been 3 more health here. He only had 2, so the cut upper would have got it anyways. Yeah, I was just kind of going for broke. I guess I didn't really have to, considering cut upper was one of my last cards in the deck, and there was 6 cards out of a 5-card deck. So, yeah, if I missed it by 1 threat, it is what it is. But that was Mojo defeated on expert mode. So let's go ahead and check out the deck list. Okay, so here we are with Deadpool. Now, Deadpool is a character I have a pretty complicated relationship with. I respect what the Deadpool hero is doing, and I respect kind of like the design space it involves, or it like operates in. That being said, I still don't get Deadpool. Like, I get that he's super strong, specifically in solo, that you just blow yourself up over and over. You hit your symbiotes who discard as fire, and boom. That's kind of the reason why I chose Mojo as his villain. Mostly because I think they're both kind of like goofy characters and whatnot, and like, you know, I think they would have like a really funny battle if they were to fight in like the comics or like a TV show or something. But other than that, kind of like thematic reasoning, and also because like all the Mojo Mania was X-Force characters. Another reason I picked it is because Mojo actually punishes Deadpool for the mechanic that makes him so strong in solo, which is the fact that he can't die. Mojo, what he does in hero form is that he puts all that threat on your identity by milling cards from the top of your deck. And that goes onto your identity, and whenever your identity changes forms, or the card leaves play, essentially, all that threat moves onto the main scheme, and then, you know, you saw his main scheme at 25 per player threat threshold. When it gets to 25, you lose the game. His other way of making you lose the game is the Wheel of Genres, which we only got through, we didn't even get the second one shuffled in that time on the winning attempt. So, yeah. Like I said, I respect what Deadpool's trying to do. I like the idea that he uses his health as a resource kind of to the extreme. I really love Chimichanga Truck in multiplayer because I think it's really fun and cool. You know, I like It Ain't Over because it's really good theming, and it works really well with this kid of putting the acceleration tokens down. Kind of like this danger, this hazard to everyone, even the players on your team. I think thematically it's just really, really awesome and cool. But yeah, as you saw in my winning attempt, I think in my earlier games when I was trying to fight Mojo, I was trying to lean into what Deadpool wanted to do, and then kind of in the later attempts, I was leaning into the strength of the pool aspect, which, when I say I have a complicated relationship where, even though I don't really care for the hero very much, I really do love the pool aspect. I love the idea that it can make you so much tankier with the healing factor, gives you a consistent ready, and gives you 3 extra doubles to use. I think there's a lot of heroes that benefit from this, specifically like the four-handers. I really like the four-handers in pool because they get access to like limitless stamina, plus another ready from stick-to-itiveness, and then they can get like the laser swords and whatnot, and like do that combo with I forgot the name of the side scheme right now. It's slipping my mind right now. But like you can ready multiple times with the laser sword with stick-to-itiveness and limitless stamina. They have really high health pools, and they like recovering, so these can be like doubles or even triples for them. I think it's really, really fun and cool. So yeah, I think that's it. I think that was really cool. Let's just talk about the deck list here. So, like I said, when you're playing the pool aspect, you really struggle. I only put in the good pool cards, and you're gonna see there's a lot of pool cards in this game. I didn't put in the Living Dangerously, I just remembered it, and laser swords in here. Not my responsibility, could have been interesting. So these are all the pool cards. Most of these, in my opinion, either they're like multiples that I want multiple copies of, or they're just not very good in my opinion. So I only have the good ones in here, but we'll talk about those in a second. Let's talk about our basic events. We're on triple Haymaker here. Like I said, we're trying to be limited with our card pool here, and the Haymaker did come up and help us knock out Magneto. It's just 2 for 3 damage. He doesn't have really any sort of attack events that don't deal damage to him, so honestly, this gives him an option he didn't have, and it was pretty good and flexible. We have Weapon X here, which only play if you're a mutant. As an alter ego, you can take a damage, discard until you find an identity-specific card and add it to your hand. Pretty good way to get an extra card to your hand, play a couple more cards. You have the I-Pack here, which is the X-Force support card. You can exhaust it and deal yourself a face-down encounter card and draw 2 cards. We never got a chance to play it, but it was there just in case you needed it for like a last-second push. Helicarrier, just classic here, reduce the cost of card. We didn't get it down that game, but I think every other game I played, I did manage to get it down. We're looking at our upgrades here. We have one Plan B. Deadpool can have like awkward hands where he has like extra cards left over sometimes. Usually that'll go into tic-tac-toe or stick-to-itiveness, but Plan B is just another option to throw a card into. Discard a random card from your hand and deal 2 damage to an enemy. We're on X Gene here. This is pretty good specifically for the Yoo-Hoo because maximum effort is 0, but Yoo-Hoo does cost 1, so this can pay for it. So you can also pay for his Treachery Cancel, which we got a lot of use out of, and a couple of his other events. One copy of Endurance is kind of like mini symbiote suit. This is super good for him, mostly because of how maximum effort works. You can just take damage equal to your remaining hit points. So it changes your maximum effort to a max of 9 damage to a max of 12, which is really, really good. Also, it combos with this card as fire because it's how you deal damage to equal to how much damage you have taken, not how much damage from your max health you have lost. So pretty good. And then we have Symbiote Suit at the end, which is the really, I would say, pretty ignorant combo that can work well against 90% of the heroes in the game in solo, where you just put on the Symbiote Suit, you maximum effort yourself down to 1 health, so you deal like 20 damage to them, and then you deal this one, this card is fire, deal X damage to them, where X is the amount of damage you sustained. So Symbiote Suit on you puts you up to 19. If you go down to 1, you can do like what? 18 with the maximum effort, and then 18 again with this card is fire. So it basically bursts every single villain in solo mode alone. It is in here in case we had a chance to play it, but we really never had the chance. Mojo does a really good job of trying to shut down Deadpool with its flipping shenanigans because of all the threat he starts putting on the main. If we're going into our basic allies here, we're on a big package. Like I said, there's not a lot of really good pool cards, so we had to play a lot of basic cards to supplement it. We're on Forge here. He can find the eye pack for us, but mostly it's because he can like refund a card in our hand. We could play the eye pack if we want, or we could use that resource to play something else. He's there so we can block from Mojo's hits. Professor X is super good in this scenario. He doesn't have steady or anything, so he can hit a confuse. You can flip down. Don't have to deal with his forced response. Really, really good. Mockingbird's in here in a similar reason as the other allies. Just slow down Mojo. Make sure we can keep our health points up. Keep tapping our katanas for consistent damage every turn. And then maybe do a Yoo-Hoo or maximum effort whenever we want. Colossus is in here. He's pretty good. He only costs 3 for an alter ego. It's kind of, I didn't really play him a lot in the plays because I committed to starting with Mojo Runner as the first one because that was the one I picked. So it's just like his idea of like he comes with a tough isn't really super unique because he gives everyone a tough when they come in. And then Nick Fury is just a really good, gets us a lot of tempo in our favor and lets us build. We're on the 3 basic doubles here. We're on Energy, Genius, and Strength. Really not much to stay there. We have a lot of high cost cards that aren't his specific kit, so these can help pay for him. Moving on to the pool resources here, we're on self-control, self-preservation, and confidence. I love these cards. I think these are the main reason to play pool. They're triple resources if you're at full health. They're double if you have less than 5 damage. And they're just 1 resource if you don't meet either of those conditions, which I think is still fine. We're on these 2 pool allies here. I think if I was to go back and do this again, I think these allies are fine, but man, the threat is really tough in this scenario, and the fact that these just add on to that, it just like culminates over time to like Bob is like really good. He just has really good tempo to play him. You can deal 2 damage to an enemy as soon as you play him or remove 1 threat, but like he just immediately after every turn you're just kind of tapping him to thwart in order to get rid of that extra threat he's adding onto the main. Kid Pool is here for similar reasons. His attack gains piercing though, so he's kind of like the attack version of Bob, where to offset kind of like this acceleration icon, I mean, having piercing and 2 attack with no consequences is actually pretty good. And if we had some sort of like ways to, maybe a sidearm could have gone into this deck or something, but again, Bob was mostly thwarting most of his turns, so I don't know if I would have done that. These are the stars of the show right here. Tic-Tac-Toe can heal you by spending a resource, and if there's 3 in a line matching, you deal damage equal to all the tokens on this card. Really versatile. Stick-to-itiveness is like, and healing factor, just MVP cards in the pool aspect. You spend a fist resource and you can exhaust this card to ready your hero once a turn. Extremely good, especially if you have like the Symbiote Suit down, so you have 3 and 3, or it's 3-3-2 or whatever. So you can do it 3 and 3 just by spending a resource. Healing factor, as you saw in that last game, was so clutch. Just let us tap our katanas all we wanted to and just keep dealing Mojo that consistent damage while we were building, and then finally pushing near the end of the game. And to finish off the pool cards, we're on to Get Ragey just to ready up our allies and give them +1 attack till the end of the phase. We could have got an extra thwart out of Nick Fury if it ever worked out like that, but usually we would have used the extra attack. Get In Front of Me is a Treachery cancel. When a Treachery is revealed from the encounter deck, you can cancel to unrevealed, and the villain attacks you. If an ally or another hero blocks this, you draw a card, so it can even kind of refund itself. We never got a chance to play that, but it is good. And then we have the Cut Upper here, which is deal 5 damage to an enemy, stun that enemy. So yeah, just really, really good, really fun. Like I said, I think pool is fun. This pool basic build is fun. Deadpool, I'm kind of okay on. He's just not a hero for me, and I think I've come around to that. But I do respect his design and how he plays. And yeah, that's the deck list. But that's enough about Deadpool. Mojo was definitely the hardest villain I fought thus far. I don't know if it was the deck, me piloting Deadpool or whatnot. But this definitely took the most attempts. I think it was the 4th attempt that I beat him. Anyways, let's go ahead and check out where Mojo stacks up to the rest of the villains. See you there. Okay, so let's talk about Mojo. So Mojo's really interesting. I think he has a lot of problems that a lot of villains in solo do, specifically because he doesn't have that steady keyword where he really can get stun locking. I won't say is as good against him, but confused locking I think is super good against Mojo. If you can keep him confused locked and sit alter ego for multiple turns in a row where he's only ticking up the main by what's it called? He's only ticking it up by the number one, step one of the villain phase is what I mean. You can really have a good time against Mojo because you can just build and build and build. His main mechanic with Mojo is that he forces you to play at least a tempo-based playstyle against him. Building is sort of numbered really greatly in solo, especially as you go up in multiplayer as well, where because he mills his encounter deck so much, and the Wheel of Mojo's is an alternative lose condition. If he mills out 2 encounter decks in solo completely, you just lose the game on the spot. You do actually have to put a little bit of pressure, put your pedal to the metal, and not just build and build and build until you like one-shot him in 2 bursts. Obviously, you can kind of do that a little bit if you have a lot of economy. You can confuse lock him, but I still think he's difficult. So when you go into Mojo with a normal deck, I think he's designed in a really fun way where his base attack is extremely low. I think on stage 2, it's still 1 attack, which is extremely, extremely low. And then you look at, what's it called? And you're like, okay, so I'll go in hero mode, I'll just defend his attacks. But then you look at his response, his forced response, or forced in hero mode, where after your turn ends, you discard the top 4 cards and then top 5 cards of your deck. Every card that isn't in Mojo's set, he puts threat on your identity. And whenever a character flips from hero alter ego or the other way around, or a character leaves play because he can put threat on your allies, all of that threat goes onto the main. So like his main team has a huge threat threshold of 25, but it also starts at 10. And then in expert mode, you start with 2 on your identity, so the flip up puts it to 12. So you need a good amount of thwarting. And even though his attack's really low, he punishes you for kind of just taking his wimpy attacks, because eventually you're going to want to flip down, and then all that threat you have on you is going to instantly get dumped onto the main, so you need answers to deal with threat. Confused locking him is really strong because of the fact that he doesn't have steady, meaning that he isn't putting threat on your identity. He isn't adding threat through his big scheme stat, and he's only adding from step 1 or an encounter card. Because you can just build for turns on turns, really take advantage of essentially that main scheme that starts with 0 threat and pops at 15. If you just ignore it, it starts at 10 and pops at 25. And if you have like consistent confuses in alter ego, which I think you can get that through Professor X, through Dazzler, and Justice probably has a couple ways of doing that. It can be a really effective strategy to like doing well in the Mojo scenario. That being said, I think the fact, because in solo specifically he can be gamed a little bit, I'm not sure if I'd put him in the A tier. If I did, I'd say he probably goes at the bottom of it. I'm just trying to think in response to, again, you can't see, but Red Skull's to the right of Nebula here, and then we have Venom at the bottom. Do I think that Mojo is worse or stronger than Venom? I think when we think about characters that put you on a timer, it's like a pretty interesting mechanic. Ultron has kind of a similar thing where if he gets to that stage 3 of his main scheme, he puts you on this timer where you have to defeat him. I think Mojo's tough, man. Maybe I do put him in A tier, but he just does have those same clear weaknesses that all these villains that don't have steady have. I think Venom gets steady on stage 2. I don't think he's harder than Spiral. I think Spiral's probably way more annoying than he is. They're kind of similar in the way that the threat kind of balloons really hard. Man, I'm trying to think here. I think if I plot a Justice deck, it would be a much different game. So maybe that's why I'm overinflating his difficulty a bit. I think I'll go with my gut here, and I'll probably put him down in B tier. I can't see him. I could maybe see him at the bottom of A tier. He is definitely a difficult villain, but I think in a similar way that you can, if you control Sabretooth's activations, if you can control Sabretooth's activations, you can probably control Mojo's. And the same thing with Magad, controlling their activations is the key to beating the scenarios. And because these activations can be controlled with the lack of steady, I think B tier is a good placement for him. Do I know if he's at the top, if he's like better than Sabretooth, worse than Sabretooth? I'll say like these 3 are like pretty close in my estimation. But yeah, that's probably what I think for that. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below about Mojo. Do you think I underrated him? Do you think I overrated him? Let me know. We are getting into the X-Force box proper this next week. I hope you guys enjoyed Mojo. The X-Force takes on Mojo Mania. Again, we had to shuffle around a couple of matchups because there's a lot of thematic matchups, specifically Morlock Siege and Juggernaut in here that had really good base Mutant Genesis X-Men wave matchups. So we had to shuffle the X-Force characters a bit earlier to take on Mojo Mania. So we should have some fun matchups coming up for the next evolution box starting next week with the Morlock Siege. I'm sure you guys can guess who that one's going to be. It's not an X-Force character, so go ahead and look at your Nemesis sets. Who do you guys think it's going to be? Let me know in the comment section down below. This is going to be a ton of fun. We are on track to completing my stated goal for this series, which is defeating every villain in expert mode in solo at the time. I started this last year in October. And we are coming up to En Sabah Nur very quickly, actually. We should get there before the end of the year. I mean, how many we have left? 2, 3, 4, 5, literally 10 weeks, right? Yeah. And then I think we're going to have a break week between Next Evolution and, Next Evolution and Age of Apocalypse. But yeah, just 10 weeks, 11 weeks until we get to the proverbial end of Marvel Rewind as I originally envisioned it. Since then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 villains added. So we'll see how season 2 works out, current environment, how that factors in all that. But hope you guys have been enjoying it so far. I've had a pleasure recording this. I'll see you guys in the next one. Leave a like down below. Take care of yourselves. Have a good one. Bye.